AI is literally showing up everywhere these days, including in your wallet. From budgeting apps to investing platforms, artificial intelligence is changing the way we manage our money.
Yes, and here to walk us through some of the AI tools on the market right now is Yahoo Finance's Jared Blickery. Good morning, Jared.
Great to be with you here.
Great to see you. So, okay, with AI, obviously there's a lot of trepidation in terms of how much personal data we want to share, right? That's like the hesitation with AI. So
Yes.
now we're bringing in our personal finances.
Yes.
How do we do that safely, and is this useful, or is this just a lot of hype because AI is like the thing right now?
I think there is a lot of hype. I think there's also a lot of real case uses. And your concern about data is number one. In order to research some of these apps that I'm going to talk about with you here today, I had to submit my own personal data. I had to give banking information, and I didn't want to do that with all of these. And so I didn't. I did it with a couple, which I researched, but I think it's probably bad practice to just give your social security number to ChatGPT and say, oh yeah, figure it out. There are targeted apps. I think with AI, you need guardrails, and you could probably use ChatGPT or Claude or one of those general purpose language models to do a lot of the things, a lot of specific things like budgeting, help you out with investing, get your feet wet with options or something like that. But if you have a targeted app, it's going to have the context, and it's going to keep you honest with what it can do and what it can't do. Because one thing I've noticed about AI, it tends to overpromise a lot. And sometimes you can take that confidence and it's like, oh, I should do that, when really it was just kind of a coin toss. So targeted apps that are specific to a purpose are probably going to be a little bit better than one of these all-purpose language models.
Okay, good point, good point. Before we get to some of those specific apps, how do you know when you should act upon what AI is telling you?
That's a great question. Sometimes it's not going to be very clear, and there's still a place, there's still a role for human experts. So you might need a financial advisor. If you're talking about a messy divorce, you're going to need a lawyer. But you can learn a lot about a problem through AI. And I look at AI like this. It's an educational tool. It can lay out the possibilities, but at the end of the day, you don't want it making critical decisions for you. I think there's still human judgment, and even if you're not relying on an expert, then you need to get yourself educated to the point where you can feel comfortable making those decisions.
So it kind of organizes your options.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about those apps. We got Rocket Money, and we have another one called, is it YNAB or YNAB? Which one is that?
You know, I call it, you need a budget.
Yep.
We'll call it, you need a budget. I don't know if it, so these were the two that I actually gave my financial and bank account information to. I was shocked at how many subscriptions I have. And sometimes, I look at my bank account, why is it down? Well, there's this yearly thing that just popped up. It was a few $100s. So I've been able to rein in some of my own spending that way. It looks for patterns, and it can also help you plan. Like if you want to save up for a vacation or a wedding, or even kids for college, you can put in these goals, and it can help you organize. And again, it's not taking the reins fully, it's just giving you a tool to help you get off the dime, because finance is intimidating.
Yeah, what about investing apps?
Yes. Okay, we have a product at Yahoo Finance called AlphaSpace, and we have built in AI into it. In fact, it was built with AI, coded and everything, obviously with human oversight, but it's an incredible tool. And Yahoo Finance is known for our data, and we have all kinds of stock prices, company information, just about any public company in the world, we have a lot of information on it. So it has all of that context, and that's kind of what I was getting back to initially. ChatGPT and some of these broad, large language models, they can help you with specific tasks, but our product, AlphaSpace, already has the context. And so if you're interested, like yesterday, Tesla was down 15%. Why? Because of earnings. Investors were scared about their profits. They're raking in tons of cash, never sold more cars, but they're not making as much profit. And that's kind of insight you're looking for.
Yeah, and I love that, because you kind of simplify what it can be very overwhelming, all of that information.
Finance is a lot of times unnecessarily intimidating. It's its own language. And I think one of my biggest jobs is just kind of translating that for the everyday average person who doesn't necessarily even need to know all that stuff. And AI helps me do that.
Right. So bottom line, what is the best way to start?
Start simply. Take something small. Like My whole life, I've been a bit of a procrastinator because if there's a big project that's just looming large in my head, with AI, I can break it down into small, simple steps, and then it can tell me, all right, do this one simple thing. So if I'm worried about budgeting, I can just take a look at 1 month's worth of expenses. I can, take that plunge and kind of put my bank account into one of these apps that I trust and have it give me a report. I don't have to do anything with it, but then I'm starting. And then I'll also look up terms. So if there's something that's intimidating to me, AI is never going to say, that's a dumb question. That's humans' job. No, AI doesn't judge you. And so it's just an incredible information and learning tool.
All right, well, great advice. Jared, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it.
It's great being with you.
And you can find more of Jared's insights at finance.yahoo.com.